Hi everybody, my name is Laura Holyfield and I am with Alabama CMA, and the purpose for this video is to go over the quarterly report, the instructions, how to do it, how to actually fill it out. Hopefully you've already viewed the video for the sign-in sheet, because if you haven't, this is really not going to make sense to you. The quarterly report and the sign-in sheet really go hand in hand. So if you have not viewed the video on the sign-in sheet, or you don't have a very clear understanding of the sign-in sheet and the data, then I really advise you to go back and review that and watch it. With that said, we're going to go ahead and just kind of jump right in to the instructions. And again, all of these, this spreadsheet will be completely available to you either by email or it should be attached some way to this video. If not, then what you can do is you can either email me or contact your state leadership and they can get it to you. So submitting the quarterly report, that has to be done. We are in Region 6. So this is the website right here for Region 6. You would go to reports and forms. Here's the password. Again, this may be different if you're viewing this and you're in a different region. The biggest thing to take note of for the quarterly report is that all of the areas with asterisks must be filled in. And the next thing to really be aware of is that you're going to be using whole numbers. You're going to be using the number of members and events. You're not to use many or a lot. And we're going to go over this right here. The number in the box marked number of members cannot be less than the number of events. We're going to go over that again. One of the things that we do like to tell our people is that this is a blank form right here. Print this out. Print this out so whenever you're filling it out, you can just have all the information right here in front of you. Again, going back to the instructions, something that you need to also be aware of is that you cannot just fill in missing information. So just say you submit your quarterly report and then there's a problem with it. And you didn't fill in an asterisk area, or you have, more events than members, then you're going to be asked to do it again. The problem is you can't just go fix what was wrong. You have to actually you have to submit and input the data from the beginning as if you never filled it out. So that's where filling in a blank quarterly report, you have all this information in front of you, and then you can go and look and see where the problem was and fix that one problem on your blank form, and then go and fill it out online. I do have an example to show you. This should be familiar to you. This is the sign-in sheet, and I have just kind of taken the liberty of filling this in. And here would be where you would list your chapter members. This would be where you would list all of your events for the month. We're going to say this is January. And then here's the activity. This is what a sign-in sheet should look like, just like this. So you've got where did they go right here, and you see where like poker and toy runs, bike nights, you have 4 total because your chapter participates in a bike night that is every Wednesday. So you have 4 total there, and then any kind of non-monthly meeting, maybe it's just once a year, you would add that here. And then this is where your chapter members would say where they went. At the bottom here, you get a total of, this is rallies. You had Thunder Beach and Thunder on the Rocks. So there were 2 rallies that month that that your chapter was participating in. And so you had 4 people. You had 2 rallies and you had 4 people. And here are the people that went. And then over here is the ministry that was done. How many salvations, rededications, and other ministries. And down here you see the total for that. Again, here is the key, and what that tells you the difference between secular, outreach, fellowship, and then the Ministry of Salvation, Rededication, and Other Ministry. And then we go to outreach, and then we go to CMA fellowship. Now, something I want you to take note of is that you've got like Gail she did not have any events in outreach, but she still had other ministry, and that she wasn't at the chapter meeting, but you have her activity. As a secretary or an officer actually in the chapter, it's your responsibility to make sure your members understand that even if they can't make the meeting, they still need to submit the ministry that they did for that month. So this is a good example of Gail wasn't at the chapter meeting, but she did submit what she did that month, which is she went to prayer meeting, and she went on the fellowship ride, and she also went to a chapter visit. And she can either email this information in, or call it in, however you want to get it. But it's just real important that you get this information. And then you see right here are your totals. This right here is going to go onto your quarterly report. And this is where we say the quarterly report and the sign-in sheet go hand in hand. If you don't get the information here, there's no way you can fill out the quarterly report. So I'm going to click on this and show you, and it's kind of, I've color coded it so you understand. So this is the basic quarterly report. You have who's filling it out. That is my email address. So if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and send me an email. We have filled in our chapter name, our chapter number. That's my name, and I'm the secretary of this chapter. The address, obviously that's not my address, but that is my phone number. So again, if you have questions, feel free to call me. And then this is my husband, Chester Holyfield, and that's his email address. So please feel free to give us a call. So after your chapter meetings, you can go ahead and fill in this information, because the information does come from chapter meeting to chapter meeting. After your January chapter meeting, you can fill that in. After your February, fill it in. And March, you can fill it in, review it, and actually submit it. You don't have to wait till the 10th of the next month in order to submit it. You can submit it anytime after your third chapter meeting in that quarter. So let's just kind of review this really quickly. So you see here, I have listed the events under secular, the number of events, because remember we had 2 rallies and we had 4 members go. But these numbers right here come directly from right here. They correspond. So you're going to list these events right here. Those are going to be listed right here. Then going back to the sign-in sheet, the number of people that correspond to these events, the number of people, it doesn't matter who went or how many times they went. That's going to go here. And then down here at the bottom, you're going to total those up. Now, your ministry, while you were there, you've got salvation, rededication, and other ministry. That goes right here, salvation, rededication, other ministry. So you need to understand that that is the flow of it, and it should correspond to your sign-in sheet. Now, something to take note of here is that your number of events cannot be more than the number of people that went to those events. So if nothing else, if you can't understand that or get that, I really encourage you to talk to somebody in leadership in your state. But if nothing else, before you submit this report, just look at the number of events. If this number is greater than this number right here that corresponds to it, you need to change something. You need to look at it and review it further, because there cannot be more events than people that went to that event. Moving on. So your outreach, this right here is going to correspond to the middle section. So again, these are your events, and these are the members that went to the events. So you see, here they are right here. Now, they're not all listed because your chapter didn't go to all of the events. And so you only want to list what was actually participated in. Again, There's not more events than members ever. And then here's your salvation, rededication, and other ministry here that corresponds right here. Okay. Now here's your CMA fellowship. Again, it's the same thing, just in a different section. So all of that will correspond. Now right here, you're going to have your monthly offering. That's why we have this. We usually write this on the sign-in sheet here, chapter, national, run for the sun, and then there's a total. So when you're doing your quarterly report, you have your information right there. The next section is to be filled out by the chapter president. The chapter strengths, chapter weaknesses, and comments. I've put a couple examples here of some of the comments that we get, and some of the, the weaknesses and the strengths. This is, just take note, this is in the comment section. This is a good place to talk about visitors. If you had a major event, say, like these two rallies right here, the rally, Thunder on the Beach and Thunder Rock, you have two rallies in 1 month. That's going to make your other ministry number pretty big. So we would expect to see that, but it wouldn't hurt to just put, we had Thunder on the Beach and Thunder on the Rock this month, and, great ministry happened there, whatever you want to put. So, and then again, you want to submit it by the 10th of the next month, which is after that quarter. So again, in a nutshell, this is the quarterly report. It's not very hard. As long as you get the data on the front end on the sign-in sheet. If you don't get it on the sign-in sheet, then it's not possible for you to fill out the quarterly report. If you, again, it just goes back to, if you have any questions whatsoever, the best thing for you to do would be to call your state leadership and just discuss this and see what you can do in order to educate your members. And if there's anything that your state leaders, if nothing else, they can come to your meeting and kind of explain it. But I thank you so much for your time. I really, really hope that this has helped. And, we continue to pray for you and to pray for this ministry. God bless you.